It's a bright new day, and the sun is shining, and the birds are cawing outside, and the weather is finally above freezing. And I'm here to discuss with you the bombshell that J.K. Rowling has dropped as of a couple of days ago. So the backstory is that Emma Watson was interviewing Jo for a magazine, and during the interview, she basically admitted that she thought that Hermione should have ended up with Harry instead of with Ron, and she said that Hermione and Ron wouldn't have had a very good relationship. Of course, that immediately recommenced all of the shipping wars from years ago. So as someone who was born on, I guess, the younger side of the spectrum of first-generation Harry Potter fans, like us who grew up with the book, my level of access to the internet over those years where the shipping wars were strongest was very minimal. So I never actually participated or really knew what shipping was until after Harry Potter had finished. And even since then, I've never really shipped Harmony or Hermione, whatever you call it, Ron and Hermione. I don't think I have any strong ships in Harry Potter at all, except maybe Wolfstar. But anyway, so I think I can safely say that I'm qualified to talk about this situation. From what I understand, I think Rowling's reveal is not meant to invalidate anything in the books, but to look back at the very beginning when she was first creating the outlines and the most basic structure of the story, and wondering whether she could have done something different there. She basically said that her design of Ron and Hermione getting together was the type of story that she wanted to have out there, and she called it a form of wish fulfillment. Quotes. So I guess that's something basic to the structure. Perhaps something about how the heroine ends up with the sidekick instead of the hero, or maybe the kind of relationship that starts off with a really long friendship and like a history of having long arguments and fighting, or the type of thing where two different types of people turn out to be made for each other because they complete each other, and two halves make a whole. Because the books are designed for Hermione and Ron to end up together, and it was so intricately woven into the plot, I don't think it was any way the type of decision that she could have made after having started to actually write the series already. Like, she wouldn't invalidate the whole gradual progression of them falling for each other halfway through the series. When she says that Harry and Hermione should have ended up together, I think she's speaking from a point of view of not having anything to do with the plot, but everything to do with the characters' most intrinsic basic personalities, and saying that Harry and Hermione as people are more compatible than Hermione and Ron. I'm sure that if she were to have put Harry and Hermione together, she would have structured the entire story differently. Like, if that were the case, then we'd be looking at a completely different dynamic in the trio. And in extension, the entire series, including even plot points that might not seem to have any relevance to the romance, would be very, very different. So in the end, I suppose we get to a sort of nature versus nurture discussion. I understand the Harmony shippers, because they do have very compatible personalities, and as evidenced in the series, they do become the best of friends, even though it's not a romantic relationship. And I do also see the problems with how Ron and Hermione's clashing personalities would have made their relationship quite difficult. But the story as it is, their story, is still, in my opinion, one of the greatest romances ever, because it does contain all of those deliciously wonderful tropes, and because the story of their relationship is written so well. So I think that it's okay to be at a perpetual stalemate about the two ships, and it's okay to question whether Ron and Hermione are the best fit, and to wonder maybe it should have gone the other way. And I also think that it's perfectly fine for Jo to think about these things as well. But I don't think what Jo has said has really changed anything. All it has done is sparked a new onslaught of the kinds of conversation that help a fandom to grow and to maintain itself, and to stay very strong and persistent in being there, which I think is completely wonderful. And in the end, the canon is still the canon, and how we interpret it depends only on ourselves. By the way, my shirt is, oh my gosh, I've recorded like 3 videos meant to post tomorrow, and now here's another one. Which one do I choose? I guess this one, because it's the most timely. Anyway, so I guess the other 2 videos will just go up for the next few weeks. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye, y'alls.